Hello students, again I'm back with my new video, and today by this video I'm going to explain you a poem, The Voice of the Rain, written by Walt Whitman. And this poem is from 11th class from the book Hornbill. Now before starting with the poem, let's talk about the poet. Walt Whitman was born on May 31, 1819 in West Hills on Long Island, New York. He was the second son of Walter Whitman, a house builder, and Lucia Van Welser. In the 1820s and 1830s, the family, which consisted of 9 children, lived in Long Island and Brooklyn, where Whitman attended the Brooklyn Public School. At the age of 12, Whitman began to learn the printer's trade and fell in love with the written words. Largely self-taught, he read voraciously, becoming acquainted with the works of Homer, Dante's, Shakespeare's, and the Bible. Whitman worked as a printer in New York City until the devastating fire in the printing districts demolished the industry. In 1836, at the age of 17, he began his career as teacher in the one-room schoolhouses of Long Island. He continued to teach until 1841, when he turned to journalism as a full-time career. Theme of the poem. The main theme reflected in this poem is the importance of cyclic nature of rain as well as the poetry of the poet. First, the water evaporates from the seas and other water bodies to atmosphere. There it forms clouds which then come back to earth in the form of rain. The whole cycle of the water is vital for earth. It is this cycle which makes the earth green and clean. It makes the life possible on earth. According to the poet, like rain, his poetry is also vital for humans. It also has cyclic nature. First, it goes from the poet to different people. Then it changes them either by teaching them or making them smile, or encouraging them, or helping them to solve some problem or struggle against something. Finally, it comes back to the poet along with happiness, criticism, suggestions, etc. Now students, before starting with the explanation, let's have an idea about the poem, that is the central idea. The poem The Voice of the Rain by Walt Whitman signifies the eternal role that the rain plays in nurturing, quenching, and purifying the various elements of earth. The rain returns the favor of its place of origin from where it rises, unseen from the depth of the water and from the land. The rain itself is explaining to the reader about its origin, worth, and its cyclic movement. A comparison has also been drawn between rain and music, as both of them make the world move lively and return to their place of origin after fulfilling their purposes. Poetic devices used in the poem. The very first important poetic device used in the poem is personification. The rain has been personified as it has been given a voice in the poem. Metaphor. I am the poem of the earth. The poet uses a metaphor to compare how the rain leaves the ground to come back to the ground, giving back to it much like a person who leaves its home, only to come back after fulfilling its journey. Parallelism or simile, both are same. In the last two lines, the poet has drawn a parallel between the rain and the song of a poet. Hyperbole. Bottomless sea is an example of hyperbole. The poet describes sea as bottomless, which is an exaggerated statement to bring out the desired effect. Imagery. In the first line of the poem, soft falling shower gives the reader an image of gentle rain or drizzle. During a dialogue between the poet and the rain, it creates an image of showers or drops of water falling down from the heavens to earth and infusing it with greenery, purity, and beauty. Now let's begin with the explanation and let's start with stanza 1. And who art thou? Said to the soft falling shower. But strange to tell, give me an answer, as here translated, I am the poem of earth, said the voice of rain. Now student, if you just have a look in the picture, it is the rain which is coming down and which is compared with a soft falling shower. Thou here means you. In the very first line, and who art thou? Who art thou means who are you? Soft falling shower is dropping softly, which is compared to the raindrops. Shower, raindrops when they fall continuously on earth. Now let's start with the explanation. The poem begins with the poet asking for the identity of the soft falling rain shower. Much to the surprise of the poet, the rain replies to his question, which the poet translates for his readers. The rain in its own voice tells the poet that she is the poem of this earth. The rain is trying to say that as music or poetry gives pleasure to human beings, the rain gives happiness to Mother Earth. Now, second stanza. Eternal I rise impalpable out of the land and the bottomless sea, upward to heaven whence vaguely found, altogether changed and yet the same. Eternal means everlasting. Impalpable means unable to be felt by touching. Bottomless, very deep. Whence, from where, and vaguely means unclear. Now in this stanza, poet says that the rain is an eternal process, but it takes different form at different times. It rises from the land and the deep sea in the form of intangible water vapor and goes to the sky. There it takes an indistinct shape in the form of clouds. Although it changes in its form or shape, its core matter remains the same. Since vapor and clouds contain water, they can get transformed into the other. The words impalpable and eternal indicate that nature is not fully understood and some part of it always remains beyond our reach. Third stanza. I descends to lay the draughts, atomies, dust layers of the globe, and all that in them without me was seeds only, latent, unborn. Descends means move or fall downwards. Lave means wash. Draught, dry spells. Atomies, very tiny particles. Globe, that is the earth. Latent, that is dormant or inactive. The raindrops pour down from above to wash away draughts and dust layers, enveloping the earth. It satisfies the thirst of the dry earth and heals everything that is degrading and is lying lifeless. The showers remove the dust particles and make earth clean and green. The rain also helps in the germination of seeds which were lying dormant due to the dry spell. After that, let's begin with stanza 4. And forever by day and night, I give back life to my own origin and makes pure and beautify it. For song issuing from its birthplace, after fulfillment, wandering wrecked or unwrecked, duly with love returns. Now here, wandering means moving from one place to another. Wrecked means cared about. Unwrecked means uncared about. And duly means properly or rigidly. Now in this stanza, poet wants to say that the rain is involved in a continued process of giving life on earth by providing water to dormant seeds and making the earth more beautiful and full of greenery. Rain helps in enhancing the beauty of earth as in the absence of water, everything turns dull or lifeless and dust accumulates everywhere. Now, the last two lines of the poet's own words and reflection upon the answers gives by the rain. The poet observes that the life of rain is similar to that of a song. A song or poem is creativity and at its best. It has the power to calm, heal, regenerate, and transform and thrill. In the same way, repeated evaporation and condensation purifies the rain. The entire environment gets drenched in the rain, dust particles settle down, and there is greenery everywhere, which makes the whole earth beautiful to look at. The poet therefore draws a parallel between rain and music, as both have rhythm and ability to thrill. Both of them rejuvenate and beautify the life. So students, here we ends with the explanation of the poem The Voice of the Rain written by Walt Whitman. Hope the video is clear. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy.